Housing Guarantor Scheme and a record investment in child protection have headlined this year's New South Wales state budget. Our New South Wales political reporter Julia Bradley has the latest. Julia, what did you make of the economic blueprint?
Well, Kieran, I think if this year's New South Wales budget was to be a dish, it would be a dry steak. It's been well done. You know, there's still the bones there underneath. There's that long-term meaty investment in essential services. But really, there's no sauce on this whatsoever. There's no frills. There's no new cost of living measures. Instead, we've seen a real focus from the Treasurer handing down his third budget on two key things. So the centrepieces, a housing scheme, a guarantor scheme, and also child protection. So I'll talk you through that first housing scheme. This is the government offering to put up more money at pre-sale to encourage developers to get in and to build properties. This is for medium to high density housing. They're going to stump up to 50% of the cost of that to encourage more development. So the hope is that they'll guarantee up to 5,000 properties. This is for big apartment blocks, and that this will really encourage more construction across our state and then get people into homes sooner. So this is a big investment and we'll see them be guarantor of up to $1 billion worth of new housing projects. That's over a 5-year period. And the first property is guaranteed by the end of the year. That's the hope. Now, looking at child protection, there's a record $1.2 billion investment here. That includes money to increase the foster care allowance, the biggest increase in almost 20 years there. More money to improve the out-of-home care system. More money to build government-owned care homes. We've got money for the Office of the Children's Guardian, which is a watchdog in that industry. Also more money to support pay rises for more than 2,000 caseworkers. They also want to use the money to help hire about 200 more people. He was the Finance Minister. Finance Minister, why is child protection a centrepiece of this budget?
Because these are our state's most vulnerable children, and it's a record spending investment to protect some of the most vulnerable kids in our community. We're really proud that that's a centrepiece of today's budget, and we think this is a really important reform.
Julia, what is the state's financial position?
Well, the budget's still in the red, Kieran, but there are some bright sparks. The Treasurer forecasting a modest return to surplus come 2027. Looking at it now, our position at the moment, deficit $3.4 billion. Then we see deficit next year before return to surplus $1.1 billion come 2027 and the year following. Now, we've got some juicy sources of revenue here. We see payroll tax up, stamp duty up as well, GST marginally up this year, but the Treasurer is still unhappy about the portion New South Wales gets compared to other states like WA. That's one of his bugbears. Here was the Treasurer. You're now projecting a surplus in years to come. How difficult has it been to get things back in order?
Yeah, it's been hard. The deficit peaked at $15 billion under our predecessors. We inherited the biggest level of debt from one incoming government from another, and we've had a $12.6 billion hit to our GST income. So we're not going to hide the fact that it's been really hard to stabilise the state's finances. But we're really pleased to show people that we are getting the balance right between fixing the state's budget so we're in a better position to support households and business.
Interesting to note, a big increase in insurance expenses over 5 years. The Treasurer putting a lot of that down to the workers' compensation scheme, with payments rising there. They weren't able to get their recent reforms through Parliament. Also, a lot of money now being spent on disaster recovery payments as New South Wales continues to battle a series of natural disasters. Here is the figure: recovery funding costing 1,000% more than it did 6 years ago. Kieran.